Over here in PyCharm, let's start working on our birthday app. So as usual, we're going to come over here and pick a new Python file and call it program. Now, we're going to start out by having a header. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to ask the user for their birthday information. Then we're going to compute the days between now and that birthday they entered. And then finally, we'll tell them whether their birthday is coming up, how many days, that sort of thing. So we could just write this out in one giant series of events, but I find it much easier to think about this in small little steps, kind of like I just described. So we can do that with functions. So we're going to start by actually defining a function. And the purpose of this function is to get the input from the user and return it anytime that we need it. So let's say get birthday from user. So remember to define a function. It always starts with the keyword def, and then the function name, any parameters. If it takes none, you just have open close parentheses and a colon. And then you indent to define the code block that is the function body. Notice when I hit enter, PyCharm automatically took care of that for me. Now, one thing we can do is we can just kind of sketch this out. And if I want to define the function but not really implement it or write the details of it here, I can just say pass. Right? So the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to compute the days between two dates. So we'll say compute days between dates. All right. And I'll write pass again, just so we can go on and sketch out the rest of the app. Now notice PyCharm has put a little squiggly into here, and there's a warning. It says this is a PEP 8 violation. Now PEP 8 is the standard for how code should be written in Python. You don't have to follow it, but pretty much everybody does for the most part. And one of the rules in PEP 8 is that when you have two functions that are standalone functions, they're supposed to have two lines between them. PyCharm actually knows how to fix many of these, and I can hit Command-Alt-L, and it will do whatever it needed to fix it. Now the next thing we're going to do, first, we're going to get the user, information from the user, we're going to compute the days, and then we're going to say def print birthday information, something like that. And again, we're going to pass. And there's one part I kind of omitted because I don't really think of it as an operation, but it is something we're going to do, is we're going to print the header. And let's just put pass really quick. So that's kind of the steps of our app there. We're going to print out hello, welcome, get the information from the user about their birthday, compute whether that's in the past, in the future, and how many days, and then we're going to use that to print out information. The last thing to do is actually just orchestrate this into a main method. So we'll define a main method here. Some programming languages like C++, C#, and so on, they require you to actually define a main method called main. There's nothing like that in Python. This is just a convention. So over here, we're going to start by printing the header. And then we're going to get the birthday information from the user. We're going to store this in a variable, but just hold on for a minute there. We're going to compute the days between the dates. And then finally, we're going to print the birthday information. And then we'll be done. Final thing is, we're going to be returning some information from this. We're actually going to return a date object that represents the real birthday. So we'll call this bday here. And this birthday, we're going to need to pass off to this function. So we're going to have the birthday. And we're also going to need to know what time it is right now. And I'm just going to put none because I don't really want to talk about that, what that is just this moment. But we're going to get to that right away. So we're going to call get birthday from user, get their birthday. We'll compute what the time is now. We're going to compare the time between these. And this is going to actually give us number of days, like so. And then we're going to pass this on here, and it will print this out. So you can see that PyCharm is actually showing us that, hey, you're trying to use the return value of this function, and over here you can see we just say pass. They're not actually returning a value. So our next job is to go and implement each one of these functions so this flow works as we expect.